Hey guys, this is Jasmine with Ethereal Pathways. Thank you for joining me. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight. I am gonna just kind of see what comes through for any messages for anybody. Spirit, I've already cleansed the space. Ask Spirit to come in and speak whatever messages need to be spoken to the collective who's listening out there, what messages need to come through. Forgiveness is the first word that comes to my mind. Somebody needs to forgive. Somebody needs to forgive some past hurt, someone that hurt them from their past. Illusions is another word that comes through. So perhaps you're feeling like you need to forgive somebody for some things that your fears, your projections were giving you an illusion that something was going on when it wasn't going on. And that's actually something I actually went through recently in my most recent connection, where my fears of being cheated on, played basically in the past, had given me the illusion that was actually occurring again, when it was in fact something else that was going on within that person. But they still were being deceptive in that they hadn't told me a truth, that they had kept the truth from me of something they did, but it wasn't what I thought it was. So if that gives you an idea what I'm talking about, that's the two words that came up. See what else, Spirit, what else is going to come through for people? Lingering, I don't know what that is. Thought projection. Okay. Mystical. Perhaps you're delving into your abilities, kind of like how I am now. This is the first time I'm doing a video like this. You're seeing into more of your mystical abilities, but your thoughts are projecting your fears and things and creating blockages for yourself too, just similar to what I'm going through. I think the collective, a lot of the people in the collective are going through that right now. Their fears and their limiting self-beliefs are what's holding them back, and perhaps creating the blockages because they're projecting what they think is happening behind the scenes, or what somebody could be doing to them, and it's creating an illusion of that happening when it's in fact something else entirely. So check your thoughts, check your fears, look into how you could be doing that with somebody, and then look at the reality and seek clarity from that person or that situation. Confront the person or whatever you need to get that clarity, or Spirit to get that clarity on what's actually going on, because a lot of times it could be your fears and your thoughts creating an illusion and you're projecting. But you're also, a lot of people are they're waking up. You're going through a spiritual awakening. You're looking into your mystical gifts. Trust them. Trust your intuition. Your mind, your ego mind, is going to try to explain everything away as a logical thing. It isn't always what that is. That's what I do. I've got air in my chart, heavy in my chart. I'm Aquarius ascendant. So air is a very intellectual sign, where you want to be logical and you want to, sorry, that was my TV screen, my computer screen turned on. Air is the logical wanting to explain things away in a logical sense, 3D sense. Well, this caused this in the 3D, this is what that is. It's not this. It wants to try to explain away the unexplainable. Sometimes you can't do that. I mean, how else can you explain, for instance, what happened to me recently with, my ex-boyfriend coming back in and popping in, I call it, happenstance. That's the word I like to use when crazy stuff like that happens. It's not a coincidence, and it was not planned by the person, but that person had a dream that I told them something specific, and I verbally said the same thing to him in person after he had the dream. That is your mystical abilities. That is true intuition and your spiritual abilities. You're speaking in the astral. You're sending them, you're having conversations with them in the astral, in the sleep realm. We go into the astral realm where our soul is free to communicate instantaneously with who else is in our soul group that we need to communicate with, whether they're here physically in the 3D or in spirit. That happened. My daughter giving me that message. I haven't shared this message yet, or maybe I will maybe I'll share this message after the recording I did earlier, where my daughter shared a message from my deceased father. She never met him. And she had his name correct. She had my birth name correct, because I don't go by my birth name now. I legally changed my name. But you might be looking into that. Trust your intuition. You're going to question it at first because you're not used to hearing or seeing things, but you'll start getting the signs and the confirmations from spirit that you're spot on with things. Start trusting it. Self-doubt is a word that just popped in my head. There's a lot of people having self-doubt. I have self-doubt. Everybody has self-doubt. What's holding you back from your dreams? Fear. Self-doubt. Fear of the unknown. You're taking leaps of faith and you don't know what's on the other side. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. When you start taking even one step towards those dreams, making them a reality, taking physical actions towards them, even not even knowing the outcome, of what it might create. The fact that you're taking a step towards something that will create that dream, even though it may be small, is a huge step for you. That is a step into the unknown. There's going to be a lot of self-doubt and uncertainties, but follow your intuition, follow your passion. What brings you excitement? What makes you excited? For me, it's helping people heal. For me, it's seeing people spiritually awaken to their own gifts. Everybody has spiritual gifts. Everybody has psychic abilities. They just have to unlock them through ascension. They have to unlock them through going within and facing their fears, facing their insecurities, and working past them in the physical reality, the 3D reality. By taking steps that go against your patterns, changing the narrative, changing the patterns that you grew up with, being the person that breaks those toxic patterns. That is the generational curse breaker. I am the generational curse breaker for my family. I stood up and I said, I don't want this for myself anymore. And I went and got help. And I did my own help until I got professional help. I did whatever I had to do. I had to let whoever I had go, whatever I needed to let go. And I'm still in the process of doing that even now. Even with my day job. Like I'm in a process of surrendering that to God, because that is becoming somewhat of an unstable situation there. I cannot rely on it long term because it's going away. It looks and appears to be. I'm stepping out on a leap of faith of doing this channel to help people work through their fears, to go through their ascension journey, a spiritual awakening, come into their psychic gifts, work past their blocks, whatever it is, toxic patterns. Like, I want to be the inspiration and help people walk through that. I don't know how it's going to look at the end. I don't know where it's going to take me. I don't know how big it's going to become. But I hope it affects a lot of people, because that's what I came here to do. I know that now. I know I came here for a big purpose. to affect the collective, to wake them up, shake them up. I'm a walking, talking spiritual awakening. I'm a transformational soul that came into this life. It's written in my birth chart. I came to create transformation for people. Anybody that comes into close contact with me for any length of time is going to be changed, and even short periods of time is going to be changed in some way because of an interaction with me. I've seen that now. I've seen it repeatedly through people I work with, I've been friends with. I've seen it especially over the last 5 years, since I've really the last 3 years that I've really been working hard on myself and trying to heal myself and trying to get out of these toxic patterns I've been in. You can't doubt yourself. You've got to push past those fears of you're not good enough. What if you're not good enough? What if you're going to make a mistake? What if you're going to fall on your face? Who cares? At least you're trying. It's better than where you are now. It's better than creating and keeping those toxic cycles and continue to create that for yourself, right? You're breaking the cycle. You choose to do something different in the mix, and that's what's ultimately going to change your reality, is when you mix it up. When you stop with repeating those same cycles and you do something different. It may not happen instantaneously. Your reality may not shift instantaneously, but you will feel the shift within you. You will feel the excitement. You'll feel like nervous. You'll feel anticipation. You'll know something's shaken up within you. You won't put your finger on it, but it will happen. It's like a snowball effect. I'm seeing a snowball, like an avalanche, but it's like a snowball rolling down a huge mountain, how it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and goes faster and faster and faster. And then it hits the bottom and just goes everywhere, right? And explodes into something huge. That's how it is when you work past your self-doubt. When you work past your fears of the unknown. What if? Well, who cares? It's better than where you're at now, right? Just ask yourself that. What if I take this? What is the risk? Is it better than where you're at now? Would you rather stay in your comfort zone? Or would you rather have better for yourself because you know you want better for yourself? Your soul is calling for you to do something different, to be something different, to want better for yourself because you know you deserve it. On a soul level, your soul yearns for it. So do something different for yourself. Be something different for yourself. Even if it's one little step, take it, and then take it the next day, and then take it the next day, and continue to do that. Whatever it is that makes you happy, that makes you excited, that, I'm not saying, go for a, racing down the highway, but, you got to think about other people. I'm talking about, like, what brings you passion. Do you like cooking, painting, whatever, things like that can add to people's lives. And then you could pour your emotions or whatever into it and create something for yourself that will also bring something to somebody else. Whatever it is, find your passion. That's what I'm doing here. And I want to help people find their passions, work through their blocks, push past their fears, their negative thought programming, past the illusions of where they think they're stuck. I did too. I thought I was stuck even just days ago. Look what I'm doing now. I'm channeling information, right? I'm a natural channel. I didn't realize that. Hello. It turns out I've been doing that for years and didn't realize it until recently. You are your own worst enemy. Your fears and your self-doubt will keep you stuck and stagnant and lacking and wanting more. You are your own hero. You're the one that you've been waiting for to release yourself from those toxic patterns. You co-create with the Creator, with God. He creates the space, and He creates whatever you choose. So if you choose to stay stuck, that's what you're going to keep. He's going to give you that. If you choose to try something different, want something better for yourself, and you take actions towards that, you have to take actions. You can't just sit there and think about it. That's not going to do anything. You got to take physical actions towards those things that bring you passion, that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, whatever it is. Most of you will have a pretty good idea what that is. If you're not sure, hit me up. I'll help you out. And that's something I want to start doing. I want to start doing like one-on-one coaching for people and helping them work past their fears and their toxic patterns and things like that through my experience and my intuition and my channeling information. I've been doing that with friends already. I've been doing it at least a couple years, at the very least. I've been doing it longer than that now that I think back. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. I changed people's lives just from giving them advice from what's happened to me and good advice and telling them I wouldn't do that because this is what happened to me. You know, you never know who you're going to change. Romantic. I don't know where that came from. Somebody's thinking romance here. That's coming up. Romantic. I'm just trying to sense into more. Juggling. Woo. That just came through real clear. Juggling. Some of you out there are juggling people, situations, things that you shouldn't be juggling. You are not choosing yourself. I was guilty of it too. We all are in some way, at some point. Choose yourself. I don't care what it is. I just want your advice. But you're juggling. You're juggling between two ideas, two paths, two people, whatever. You're juggling people or you're juggling things, and one of those things is not for you. And you know who you are. One of those things is not for you. And you'll know it's not for you because it's keeping you stuck from what you want, whatever it is. Take the leap. Step out in faith. Okay? Trust God and step out in faith. You are worth it. You're always worth it. Whenever you choose yourself, life chooses you. You'll open up all those possibilities, things you never even knew that you could have once you start choosing yourself, one step at a time. Doesn't have to be a leap. It could be a small step, but start taking small steps towards what you want because you are worth it. I'm going to leave that with y'all and end this message. I hope this helps some people out there. I'm going to hopefully bring through some more stuff. Y'all take care, and I'll leave you in love and light. Thank you for joining me. And I'll leave my email in the description if you want to reach out to me to book a one-on-one. I'm going to, start listing some like fee schedules pretty soon. I'm going to be praying about that and seeking God about that, about those rates. But if you want one-on-one coaching with me or, intuitive guidance from me, I'm open to do that, to help people with that. Just reach out to me via my email, etherealpathways144@gmail.com. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Be blessed.